so for me, I mean, my hope is in what I deeply believe in. What I tell my church regularly is that the good news of Jesus Christ is a personal, communal, and cosmic message. That this is and that the fact is all of those things are necessary, because otherwise the whole thing will fall apart. That this does shape you personally. We can even think about forgiveness in this way. That does shape you personally, but also it makes you ask the question, what would it look like if a community functioned in this way? And this is fundamentally what the church is supposed to be. We don't see that, but that's ultimately what it's supposed to be, because it's supposed to bear witness to a world that is coming where that is the case. And so the fact of the matter is that hope is supposed to be fueled by the fact that as you've experienced it personally, you then in community function in that way. And so instead of I mean, we had this conversation kind of briefly where instead of, you know, that happening in a personal situation, but then once you get around other people who have been harmed, that goes out the window. Instead, there's a need for us to continue to see communities that actually function in that way, because that can then remind us, oh, wait a minute, maybe it's possible that we can even think of a political order in which this is actually the norm. Oh, that wouldn't that be wonderful? And the fact of the matter is that even throughout, at least throughout the entirety of both the Hebrew Bible and the New Testament, when God chooses his people and gives them the law and all these things, basically his purpose is, I want you to be able to show the world that a community that's built on forgiveness, on grace and justice, that's actually real. Like, that's actually a real thing. We have often failed ridiculously to actually do that. But there are spaces, and this is one of the intentions for even the church that I lead. One of my intentions is that, like, we can show folks that this can actually happen, and we can invite people to it, because that's the goal of it. The goal of it is not to be a sectarian group over here doing their own thing. No, it's to show people, look, this flourishing is actually possible. And so that's my hope. I've been encouraged by the community that I'm a part of, but I'm also encouraged by the fact that they also encourage me to continue to push them, and I will.